story is a big one. I think it gets missed because most people in the world don't really understand what it means. But this is Tesla has eliminated its yearly service. So it used to be that with your Tesla, they recommended that you bring it in for annual service. It wasn't a whole lot of things that you needed done to the car, but it was, a cost, and you did have to bring it in. Now Tesla's saying that this is all they recommend. So we're seeing here that the cabin air filter, they're recommending that you replace it every 2 years. Well, that's common in every car. That's just the filtering the air in your car. The HEPA filter, if your Tesla has one of these, they recommend that you replace it every 3 years. Okay, that's normal. Tire rotation. Well, every car needs tire rotation, so that's normal. Brake fluid test. Tesla now recommends testing brake fluid for contamination every 2 years and replacing as needed. That's
Nothing out of the ordinary.
normal.
There. Yep.
Air conditioning service. Check this out, Jesse. They recommend that you replace the desiccant to help the longevity and efficiency of your AC system. And they recommend that for Model S owners, you do this every 2 years, have it checked. Model X owners, every 4 years. And for Model 3 owners, you get it checked every 6 years.
Wow. So that kind of shows a little trend there because they made the Model S first, the Model 3 last, the Model X right in the middle.
Right.
And it shows you the... I guess they got really good at making AC systems. I mean,
guess.
That's amazing. 6 years?
And then lastly, winter care. They recommend that you clean and lubricate all your brake calipers every 12 months if you're in a cold weather climate. Look what it's not listing. There's no exhaust system to check, no timing belt to check.
No oil
replace.
change.
Right. There's no catalytic converter that could have to be replaced. There's no head gasket
right.
or,
Water pump.
do you realize that there's so little
filter.
Exactly. And most dealerships, it behooves them to get you in there as often as possible and to charge you for things you may not even need.
Right.
Tesla's basically saying, oh, you know what? We found out with data that we don't need to service your car as often as we thought.
Right. And this is where I talk about Tesla being different all the time. And they do a lot of things to be different. Like the door handle's different. And it throws people off. They're like, oh, that's so different. It gets people in the mindset of like, this is a different car, different experience. Having this amount of maintenance compared to a traditional car where you need to be bringing it in like every 3,000 miles for an oil change is so completely different. I can't even begin to tell you the difference. When you switch to an EV, you just drive it home, you drive to work. You drive it home, drive to work. You don't stop at a gas station. You don't stop to get an oil change. You don't have to stop anywhere for anything. You just go home, plug it in, and drive it to work the next day.
And I think a big thing is brakes. A lot of people think, brakes is like a common thing. You always have to get your brake pads, brake rotors turned, maybe replace your rotors.
Right.
It's an expensive job.
And why is that? It's because, for the most part, I know that there is engine braking, especially with manual transmission cars, and if you do that, great, you're putting the wear on your engine instead of the brakes. But it's the brakes that are slowing down ICE cars. And what that means is you are putting all of the stress, all of the wear, all of the heat, all of the energy into those brakes every single time you're slowing down the car. And it is completely different in EVs, okay? Because in EVs, you have regen braking. It might be weak, like in the Leaf. It might be strong, like in every Tesla. The stronger it is, the better it is. The less actual brakes you need, and the less they're going to wear, the less they're going to heat up, the less they're going to warp the rotors. It's huge, the difference.
Imagine if an ICE car company said, you know what, our brakes you don't have to change for 200,000 miles.
Right.
You'd be like, that's great, because normally you have to change them every 30,000 miles.
Right. Imagine having to slow down the car with your sneaker. You have to open the door, put your foot down on the pavement. You would go through sneakers faster than like a sneakerhead.
Right. So, think of how many times, that's 6 or 7 times that you don't have to go to the mechanic.
Right.
Because you're not wearing down your brakes.
We've been saying this for a long time, but it's so cool that Tesla has data to prove that you don't need to be going in for this type of maintenance quite as often as they had originally, it was originally annual maintenance. And so everyone was like, oh, annual maintenance, that sucks. Now you don't have to do it.
Yep.
How cool is that?